And here we go. We're going for a walk, cock of the walk. This is our 10th installment, or at least it's gonna have a 10, and I think that's a big deal because between pilot and now, we have mics on us.
There you go.
Okay, we have a walking path that we like that has that's free of mower but keeps the ambiance. That's good.
Hear the birds.
Yeah, and we know how to jump right into talking about jingles.
Boom.
I was talking about jingles because I think in the beginning of this episode, I'm going to put a little bit of music with a voiceover of Cock of the Walk, because when we made our pilot, we had to use what we thought was going to be a good intro song, only to have it copyright claimed on us and go, oh my, I'm not sharing this with anybody, my bad.
You just got an email saying, can't use that. And
you can't use that.
Yeah. And it's Foghorn Leghorn off of freaking Looney Tunes.
Cock of the Walk.
That's all he said, Cock of the Walk.
So when I was typing in Cock of the Walk into like Google, I was getting a whole bunch. Maybe that's where the dick pics came from. I was getting a whole bunch of random stuff like, oh gosh. But one of the things that came up was that you showed me that, and I thought that was it fit, and then I realized even 10 seconds of that means that there's a claim on it, and I'm like, man, I play music. I mean, I used to do, like I was saying, I do jingles. 99 cents at the 99-cent store. 99 cents at the 99-cent store. 99 cents at the 99-cent store. How much is that? 99 cents plus tax and CRV. And you were talking about, what jingle did you have?
Oh yeah, we made up stuff for like car washes, and it was laser wash. That's it.
With the fade out of the splash, right? So I'm like, well, we have the musical talent. So I'll put a little snippet in there, moving on from that.
And I think it's, like I said, most, if you do listen to podcasts, they have some type of intro. Mm-hmm. And I think the big thing there is don't kill them with, don't
kill them.
Don't kill them with too much, 20 seconds is enough.
So if you've been listening since pilot and now you're listening to this one, look how far we've come.
Yeah.
And you're talking about kill them. Let's talk about suicide. What are your thoughts of suicide?
Suicide. You always hear like, it's so selfish. Really, like, you're not there anymore.
How would you know if you're not there?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but you do hear. We're seriously going to talk about suicide.
Oh, okay.
So here's why.
You were just.
I know. That's why you said kill him, and I'm like, kill him, suicide. And because it has to do with mental health. Okay. And so, we're if it's funny, and we had a little tidbit before with all that stuff. Now we get into topics of mental health, and one of the ones that sparked my interest, and I'm following you, was suicide.
Okay.
And I believe that, and this is going with males, okay? So, I mean, males aren't obviously exclusive to the suicide thing, but male suicide in America, maybe possibly or globally, has a few contributing factors, okay?
Okay.
And you tell me what you think about these factors. The first one is males who, in their minds, fail the masculinity test. The man up, be a man, and do this, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and something happens in their life where they feel devalued, and they go, oh man, like
emasculated.
And it makes, maybe they lose their job, and now they can't provide for their families, and it's like, you're supposed to be able to provide. What are you, not a man? Don't sulk. So that's one contributing factor. Second one is the bottoming out of relationships. So you thought you were going to have this image in your mind of being a family man, and boom, 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 blah, and then it bottoms out, and you go, oh shit, what's going on with my stuff? And the other has to do with wealth, either income inequality, or you feel like, that's nice, right? You feel like one feels like their time is, so maybe
you'll never get ahead.
You can't get ahead. You don't have any wealth. You have no savings. You have no retirement plan. And imagine all three. Imagine you lost your job. You had no savings to begin with, and because you lost your job, your significant other left you. That would put a male into a spiral of like, what am I worth? What is the meaning? This is a struggle. And then it would affect their mental health to at least contemplating suicide.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with any of your statements so far.
Okay, so then what I wanted to talk about was it's okay to think about that, but it's not okay, or you should really try not to actually go through with it. It'd be like thinking about a murder and how fun it, not fun, that is a bad word, but like, you know, like you roll your mind like, if I ever, you know, did this, but it's not okay to go through with it.
But it's the same like logic of like, if I won the lottery, I'd
exactly
buy a house, or I'd, you know, buy a Lamborghini or whatever.
So it's okay to talk about it in that way, that, and if you are thinking about it, then to talk about it. That's why they have hotlines. That's why they have these certain things, because the last thing you want to do is go through with it. And then we go back to how selfish is that? So you commit suicide because you're in so much pain, right? It's obviously not going to affect you. You're dead.
Yeah.
You know, it might affect your mom and dad, who now feel like a failure. Like, oh my God, what did I do to
you do leave people behind.
Yeah, the people left behind. Yeah. So that's the selfish part. You have kids, now you left your kids abandoned and, you know, without parental guidance. Now, maybe you thought you were worthless and, well, I can't guide my kid into, you know, a freaking out of a paper bag. Yeah, out of a paper bag. So what, are they better off without me, kind of, sort of speak? And you go, no. So if you are listening to this, you know, we're on our 10th installment. We had a lot of work to get to here, but we kind of have a direction of what we want to talk about. We want to goof around, hopefully make you laugh, hopefully touch a nerve of sharing common ground, and then hit on the head really important things that are going on in the world, current issues, as well as things that have to touch specifically on mental health, like suicide, depression, anxiety.
Yeah. But in the same breath, I mean, you know, we're not sticking to a specific format. Or
no.
Just, I mean, it's kind of our model.
I'm about to tell you a story. Yeah, now I'm going to go straight into story. So touched on that. Boom. Now I'm going to tell you about the first time I got a boner. Okay? I'm going right into that.
You're going to share this?
I'm sharing this.
You shared it before. So.
I shared this before.
It's more than a boner story, dude.
Well, to me, it's the first time I got a boner, okay? First time I got aroused.
Oh, you're going to share this.
I don't know where this comes. How has this affected me in my life?
You just said comes, dude.
But I mean, where like where this goes, I mean, where this goes, it comes and goes, right? Where this goes. So I was in 6th grade, okay? I was in middle school, and I was doing fitness testing. I was how many sit-ups you can do, how many push-ups you can do, pull-ups, mile run, all that good stuff, right? And I was really determined to get the most pull-ups in the class. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm watching all these other kids do it. They're getting like 6 and 7s. I was like, dude, if I get 10, I win. I win this. Yeah. So I get up there. I'm wearing, at that time, they don't have the mesh kind of stuff. It's just the cotton, like cotton and a white shirt, pretty much.
Did you already told me this story, and I don't want to like ruin anything. Like, I really don't believe you're sharing this. Go for it.
And then so I'm doing it, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I know I'm going to get to 10 because now my stomach's actually tickling. I feel like a tickle in my stomach, and I'm like 8. Oh man, it doesn't even burn anymore. It's just a wonderful tickle now. 9, 10. Got to the 10th one. Here I go. 11. This tickles like you wouldn't believe. 12, 13. I hear some girl go, "What's he doing?" I'm like, I'm doing pull-ups, the best in the class. 14. 15, okay, now I think I'm gonna fatigue. 16, 17, and I drop. And when I look down after I dropped, I came my pants. That tickling sensation,
boom.
Yeah, I had white fluid leaking out of my shorts. My friend
pointed right at you.
My friend Randy pointed right at me and was like, "You came your pants!" You know, like, and my teacher, my female instructor, told me, "Sit down, don't worry about it." And I didn't even know what was going on enough to be embarrassed, but I knew enough to know that I fucked up. So, like, somehow, like, this is a thing in my life. This is one. And when I went home, my favorite part is when I went home, life begun. Life begun for me. I went, oh man,
this is what this is about.
That was such a good tickling feeling. How do you produce that feeling without the pull-ups?
A little bit of Jergens lotion, you're good to go.
And a whole bunch of those swimsuit magazines where the girls aren't even naked, they're just like beautiful.
The JCPenney catalog.
Yeah, JCPenney catalog.
You can go across
because it's like, how am I going to get my hand on anything of, you know, but
of real value.
So there you go. And so that's kind of what I want to do with this podcast is really do touch on important things, but also share embarrassing moments of my life. I've kind of already shared some, but not the funny ones, you know.
Well, that's a good one.
There you go. There's the one. So hypothetically, that was a story. Hypothetically.
Yeah, that wasn't you.
Jesus.
It's a little bit muddy.
That one, yeah.
And it's a little bit, right in it.
Straight swamp. I found a rock right here, and that one's kind of solid.
This is what happens when you take a path you're not familiar with.
Yeah, this is a mud swamp right now, but we got through it.
That's fun.
Any story you want to share?
Nothing. Well, I kind of shared the one with you, but I didn't think it was that entertaining, but I'll go ahead. Probably happened to a number of people, actually, so not unique, but 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
5th grade, I had one of the prettier girls come up to me, and you know, she was kind of my friend, I suppose, and then started asking me what girls I liked in our class.
Okay.
Who do you think's pretty? Do you think Jamie's pretty? Do you think Amanda's pretty? Do you think Susan's pretty? You know, went down the whole list, and
all the pretty girls here, pretty much.
All the pretty girls, I mean, obviously, so I'm going to be like, yeah. Would you like to date her? Yeah.
5th grade.
You know, would you like to kiss her? Yeah. You know, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah. And then the next thing you know, she goes, you know, to the whole freaking class, Shaun wants to kiss Jamie. Shaun wants to kiss Amanda. And I'm like, you know, maybe what, 10, 11, 12?
Uh-huh.
I go into the closet and I cry.
You dirty, you dirty devil, dude.
Dirty bird.
Oh, that's a spider web, dude. I'm in a straight up spider web, dude. Oh my God, I hate. Do you ever walk straight into a spider web? Oh my God, I hate it. Oh, dude, I walked. Oh, that's the spider, isn't it? What is that guy? Oh, we were just walking.
All right, we're gonna turn back.
Oh, we turning back?
Muddy.
Wait, there's a
It doesn't
clear.
really lead anywhere. Just
Okay.
more mud and more spiders.
Okay. Whoa, dude, I just walked straight into a spider. I don't know if you've ever walked right into a spider web and you know that feeling of, where is he? He's on me.
Full face.
Okay, back to you though. So yeah. You're just saying, like, do you like A and B and you know, Jessica, and then you're like,
yeah, I'd like to kiss her.
You dirty devil.
Jessica. Oh man.
That's funny.
Cried all day long. So then I think that's where I like genuinely hate people and have no trust for anyone.
That's what, and that, yeah. I liked when you were saying, like, and she didn't go, you know, you don't like, what was the name?
Some of the ugly girls.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like Matilda or
Matilda. You don't, so not Matilda though. Hell no, not Matilda.
You weren't even gonna ask because you knew.
So she set you up. She's like, hey, let me talk only about my friends and my cute ones, and we'll ask you about them. I'll set you up, and then I'll embarrass you.
Hey.
Yeah.
I didn't come on my pants in front of a gym class.
The entire class, dude. They were just, what's he doing?
Co-ed gym class.
Yeah, co-ed gym class. Not a. I remember it like it was yesterday. Possibly was. It was crazy. Yeah, and back to the mud. That speaks to those things that happen in our life.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's rejection or embarrassment or a little of A and B.
Maybe it's a formative moment.
But isn't that something that hinders you in your adult life? Not saying like I know for a fact it is, but the concept of rejection, like not that you're going out to the bars or anything. Oh, cool. Not that you go out to bars, but people that go out to bars and people that go out to clubs or people that go out to social gatherings, the last thing they want is to be rejected.
Somebody say, no, I'm not interested in that.
And that's a huge part of life, is taking a chance and actually getting rejected. And so if you have that fear of like, I can't start this, I can't do this, I'm gonna be like embarrassed and I'm gonna be rejected, and because I'm rejected, I'm gonna be embarrassed, you may never reach your full potential.
All right, so on that note, right, embarrassment of like somebody looking at you and thinking down on you, thinking low of yourself, right?
Correct.
Or thinking low of you. And I've said it, and it's, you know, either a curse or a blessing on how you want to look at it. Nobody cares about you as much as you care about yourself.
Correct.
Right? And you mentioned that when you went downtown Nashville with your guitar the other day.
That's what I was going to talk about, yeah. Went busking downtown, and I'll let you finish, but I'm going to say what I felt.
Yeah.
I felt like when we were driving down there, I got this. I've been on America's Got Talent. I played in front of 2,000 people. I did a backflip. I've done drum solos. I got over the nerves. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get in there. And then we get down there, and I'm like, clammed up, just.
And I kind of think I maybe even like prodded you a couple times, like, hey, wouldn't you sit up here if you were doing this? And hey, wouldn't you sit up here? Like, look at this corner over here.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
And
like, I'm reminiscing like it's a theory, you know?
Yeah, and you kept moving on. I'm like, just pull out your guitar, bro. But I didn't say it because...
I understand. And where did I end up pulling it out? There was, no pun intended, but we walked around up and down. It's kind of dead zone a little bit. There is life down there. It stops about 10 o'clock because of all the pandemic and COVID stuff. Yeah. And people are leaving the bars, and it was a good recon mission, but I knew I had to do something because I had to get myself over. So what? Be embarrassed, be ridiculed, or make no money, whatever it's gonna be, whatever this becomes, you have to do it, or you're just talking about it, you know, like shit or get off the pot, so to speak. So there's a guy who plays, is it trumpet or saxophone?
Pretty sure he's trumpet, yeah.
Okay, so he plays the trumpet out there. He's probably pretty popular. I'll find out his name and reference him someday, because I know he has a Venmo sign, and so he definitely has a name. And the corner he was at, he left it. It was right on 2nd Street, right?
Broadway and 2nd, yeah.
Broadway and 2nd. And when he left it, I mean, I'm sure he left because the money left, but I pulled out the guitar on that corner and I started playing. And it was, for me,
like almost liberating, right?
It was super, like, so, I mean, I'm sitting there all nervous. This isn't going to work. Who am I going to play for? And to be honest, I played for maybe before the group of people. Sure.
This ends up being another lap, or we can go like meandering around.
That's
going to meander?
Yeah.
Right.
I played for like tidbits of people that it just happened to be in the earshot. No real stops. One lady who I don't know if she was homeless, but she definitely
looked her hippie lady.
Yeah, maybe she was a hippie lady. She stopped and gave me a feather or two. And I was like, cool. I mean, it was an acknowledgement that I'm out there doing something, and she acknowledged that she heard me do it.
And she liked it.
So whether it was $1 or a feather, I went, oh, cool. This girl likes what's going on. And at that moment in my time, since I felt all I was going to do is be embarrassed and shunned, that feather meant more to me than $1 probably. Yeah. You know, like at that first moment. And I went, awesome. Then a group of black people walked by, and I went, did you not hear me? That Kendrick Lamar song I just played? And the guy was like, Kendrick Lamar? What? That's my favorite rapper. And I was like, oh, dude.
Do it over again.
Boom, boom. Nobody pray for me. Boom, boom. Even a death for me. And I played on acoustic guitar. I played it the best I could. Did the best kind of rap I could. And I couldn't even look at the crowd because I was so hyper focused on not making a mistake so that they would like it. So what did you see when I did that?
There was about 8 people standing around, and everyone had their cell phone videotaping this little Puerto Rican white boy playing a guitar on the side of the street. And they were kind of dancing, kind of swaying, and videotaping you, just like, haha, check this out.
And then they moved on, right?
Yeah.
Because I noticed they moved on, because I mean, at first they were like, oh, and then it was gone. You know?
You played at the end of the song, they knew it was coming up. It's like, yep, we're leaving now.
We're leaving now, but
thanks.
And then I think I stopped playing, pretty much I stopped playing, that was my, like,
that was your encore.
Yeah, that was my award for going out there. I got recognition with a feather. I got crowd, I pleased the small crowd, and I was shaking in excitement. Like, I was like thrilled.
You brought joy to somebody.
Because I went out there by myself. Oh, you went with me. I can't say you did have a tambourine. You were definitely support. But I went out there and I went, okay. I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do this down here. I know this isn't my job. I'm looking for a job, but at the same time, this is something that being a performer or entertainer is something I would like to do. But if I can't just muster up the courage to get out there and be like, here, this is me, then I can't be an entertainer, because you got to be afraid. You can't be afraid to fail, you know?
Okay, so on the statement that we made previously, right? Think anybody really cared? Was anybody as invested as you were in that moment that walked by?
No.
No, they're like, hey, check this out. This guy is singing the song I know.
Cool, I'm moving on to go buy firewater or whatever that guy, because as soon as I crossed the street, some guy, I like some guy's clothes. I said, hey, I like your getup. And he went, firewater, water fodder, I got it. I was like, I don't know what that means, but you're definitely trying to sell me drugs. I don't even know what that means. But so And that's how I felt. Well, how did I feel when we like look back on it?
Yeah.
How did I feel about the other street performers that are out there? I thought that's just a guy trying to make a few cool. Now I would say there's a difference between the guy playing his guitar, the guy playing the trumpet, and then the homeless person who was like trying to get a hooker. Right? You know what I mean? Like, like with just a sign that says like I'm trying to get a hooker. Like, so give me money
up for a hooker.
Yeah, saving up for a hooker. Give me money because I want a hooker. And I was like, well, I'd much rather give my dollar to the trumpet player,
somebody who's doing
or the guitar player.
Something.
Yeah,
you know,
because there was a guy who had a sign. The 4 people I remember was trumpet player, guitar singer, guy with saying saving up for hooker, and another guy saying for $5 I'll kidnap your boss and whip his ass, right?
Yeah.
And so there's the funny sign aspect, but you could be a trumpet player and just have a sign that says, you know, blow hard for $5, and you're doing a talent, you know. So you could be funny. Yeah, you could be you can have a funny sign. You don't have to stop at just the funny sign and ask for the money. So I guess I was judgmental in the sense that I was out there going, which one of these 4 did I like the best? I saw that the trumpet player had a tip jar, that there was money in the tip jar.
And he wears a suit. He's down there from probably sun up to sundown. He's always sweaty.
I bet you he has a story, you know. And maybe that's the thing. I go ask him to interview him. Maybe I go interview that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I know that. I know that
Trumpet Charlie.
I know,
right? We got shirtless
Charlie. Everyone's Charlie.
Trumpet Charlie.
Trumpet Charlie. So I know that in this experience this year, what I found out, and I think this contributed to a detrimental mental health, is that I'm an extrovert. Okay. I can be introverted when I'm on a project, if I'm working on music by myself.
Leave me alone, I want to do this.
Or if, I mean, even with my kids, I say, it's hard to say you're an introvert parent because you're around your kids. I'm talking to my kids, maybe I'm not talking to them about adult things, but you know, like, oh, you like Blimpy? You like Elmo? You like this? I need to talk. That's how I get energized. I get energized by talking to people, communicating with people. And my mental health suffered because I had to find an adult to talk to my issues with, not just kids to talk about fun stuff. And for maybe 3+ years, I never had a good, healthy, I'd say maybe there was some good, but I never had a adult conversation, especially with, you know, my significant other.
I'm the same way you are. Like, you lack friends.
I lacked I lack companionship or friends, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a friend is somebody you can grieve about your significant other too. This podcast, it's hard to do that. It's like everything we're talking about here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hope I don't complain about my wife too much. Right?
No. We'll probably beat a dead horse, you know, with some of the grievances that we've aired out on these other episodes. And we're over that. We're hoping to get over that. But it was a necessary part of it's made us friends was to set up an area where if we had a caller, we had a question, we had something, it would be, what is your grievance? What's grinding your gears, man? And we'll talk about our perception of that and give you advice. But again, we're just 2 people saying, here's our advice. I have a college degree. You have a college degree, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so it's not like we're dropouts of this or that. You know, we just had life hand us set of circumstances.
A couple lemons with no sugar.
I had absolutely no sugar. So when I talked about things with adults and those conversations go well, I feel energized, even if it's about a grievance. And to not be able to do that left me in a situation where I felt isolated. And that's in my own home. I'm sitting here like I have no one to talk to about what's like creating so much agony in me. And now that I have had some of that come out, the remorse I feel for the fact that the relationship dissolved is immense, because I realized that it didn't have to. Maybe it did have to. I guess I'm not sure on which one. Either it had to, because look where it rendered me. And so if it was persist, then I would still always have been in that mental health state. Or if I sought out counseling, but I don't know, I was always against like, here's money, listen to me grieve, as opposed to, hey, let's go on a walk and chit chat and what, you know, it could be about anything. We could tell a story about there's no time, there's no, well, that's a good session for today, and I think we'll come. There's none of that between me and you, you know.
All right, well, here's something fun, right? Just again, I interject all the time.
Yeah.
We're on a random walk at a place we haven't gone too often. We circled back right to where we started.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. We're meandering kind of through this different pathways and stuff, and we just ended up in a big circle.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't even notice that was a big circle, but that's where we ended up at. So that's kind of cool.
And there was a spider web at some point through it.
Spider web.
Yeah. And so it's and going back to like I heard everything you said, and now I'm going to finish my sentence. No, like I mid sentence, and it helped my mental health. I'm just waiting
for my turn to speak.
It helped me realize what was going on in my life. Yeah. And now I'm to a point where the heartache is still there. I don't know if it'll ever go away because it's one of those. Look what happened to the kids.
Heartbreak, heartache.
Yeah, and I'm sure the money and the financial situation is going to be there because now there's me having to fund, you know, now I got to find my own place to rent, and my own bills and stuff, and we're not we're not doing that together, so that's just more expensive, and that's going to be there for a while. And I'm sure on the other aspect, someone else has to find more childcare, and the nuisance of not having someone to wake up with the kids at 6 a.m. It's only one person now, and that sucks. I grieve. I feel bad for a person being in that situation. And I understand the whole situation a lot better. And you know, if there was a do-over, maybe things would go different now that I understand. Or maybe life is that way where there is no second chances, there's no do-over, and you got what you got. It became what it became, and now you have to deal with two parents who are going to raise their kids. Yeah. Hopefully co-parent, but they're not going to be, you know, it's not going to be under the same roof kind of thing. So I came to that realization yesterday when I started taking pictures of all my stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there taking pictures of like my Nintendo 64 that I owned when I was in 6th grade, you know, and that's what made me like reminisce about stories about, I remember this. And cool. Yeah, 6th grade and 7th grade, I have an N64 with Zelda and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, GoldenEye, and I'm sitting there like, wow. One, I hoard things, okay? whatever that tells you about yourself, whatever.
You've seen my house, haven't you? Okay.
I've definitely seen your house. Yeah. Is it you that hoards things, or is it your wife that hoards things, or is it a combination?
Combo, probably.
Okay. So I don't know if people go, oh, you know, if you hoard things, that's a sign of attachment issues. If that's the con, you know, what if someone said that? Would you be like, maybe? That you said. That's what I'd say. I say maybe. So I'm sitting there like, I'm about to post this on Craigslist or eBay, Half Moon Day. Check us out. There's my eBay's Half Moon Day, and other little like sites, maybe in Facebook Marketplace. But this
Craigslist.
is Craigslist. Like, but this is like Half Moon Day, Facebook, and all those things. Like honestly, I want them to be sold for a top dollar because a top dollar helps with me starting again. Or if it doesn't, it is starting again, but it's at least me getting through this and growing up by getting rid of my childhood toys, you know. And that's, I know there's a statement out there
that's significant.
I think it's like, I mean,
symbolic.
Very. It's that concept of, you know, when I was a kid, I played with toys, and when I grew up, I put away my childish toys or whatever. You know, like there's a line that says like that.
Yeah, for marriage and whatnot.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there with boxes of toys and trinkets and things that I had sitting on my alarm clock stand when I was in middle school, high school, you know, with my like Nickelodeon clock. Nickelodeon. And if you had that alarm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm sitting there with these trinkets, and I'm realizing these are all in a box, like as if I never wanted, like Peter Pan, as if I never wanted to grow up, as if I never wanted to
just let go
of my past. And here's the significant part. Now this is where you might get to like a real therapy like session. If you're sitting there and someone's like, hey, I could tell you, it'd be curious to wonder, is that because I didn't like my childhood, so I wanted to stay a child until I could make life better for myself? And so now here I'm a 30-something-year-old child, man-child, and I'm sitting here going, well, my childhood, my parents split up, and And I didn't like the way that my dad acted sometimes, and I didn't like the way that my mom acted sometimes, and I couldn't control how they were acting. But now I'm still a child and I can control my situation, but it's letting down everyone who's actually relying on me since I'm not actually a child. You know what I mean? And so that was kind of one of the realization I had is I'm sitting here with all these toys. People have told me, you know, you play too much video games.
Yeah.
And I can totally understand why a male would escape into video games, because the concept is, and maybe you believe this or not, in the reality world, maybe you have a crap job or a hardship in your relationship, or you're going through trauma, or you don't feel like you're valued at your worth. But in your video game world,
You're a god.
You're good. Yeah, you're so good. People want you on your team. People look up to you. People are like, wow, what do you do outside of this? I do Half Moon Day. Oh my God. I think the most views I have on anything.
I got a spider web.
Yeah, I can see one. Do you see it?
That's why I got this stick.
Yeah, but do you see it?
I
Look
see
at this fat, nasty one. Get him out of here.
Hey, at least we're not in like Australia. Did I tell you about that story?
Oh yeah, tell me about that story, because
okay.
I can keep ranting forever.
Real quick Australia story.
Australia story.
Got to go to Australia. Most wonderful place I've ever been in my entire life. What are you doing?
I'm not doing nothing, but I need to turn my phone on to vibrate though.
So Australia, got to go, long story behind that, but basically I was there with my wife, and this was right after, in the middle of her cancer treatments. So it was really significant for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, we get to do this even though you're not very well, you know, and it kind of was a reminder that, you know, you can still live life. You still go out and do things whenever.
Even though you're not certain that you'll be able or around to do this next year.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal. But so maybe that's why it had the impact that it did. I said, if I can live anywhere, if I can go anywhere right now, if you said free plane ticket, boom, Sydney, Australia.
You'd go there?
Yeah.
So not only was it a good trip, but it left a deep like mark on your heart of, I loved it because of this experience maybe?
I mean, without getting incredibly, I mean, there were other times obviously, but I got to see my wife smile. I mean, especially when
in moments where you knew she was in pain and struggling.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
But yeah, I got to see her smile. So maybe it held a huge significance. But anyway, everybody's like, Australia, man, there's things there that'll kill you, right? Like the spiders will kill you, the freaking kangaroos will kill you, you know? There's poisonous platypus.
The water!
Right, so we were walking on this trail, a lot like this, pretty much, and we're heading up this hill early in the morning, and my wife almost went face first into like a Indiana Jones style freaking spider web. I mean, it was human sized. Like this thing would catch humans and eat them. Yeah. I literally think the spider was called a bird catcher. I could be wrong, but
like baseball mitt size spider.
Oh my God, this thing was so big.
Oh God,
dinner plate.
You're
big.
Freaking me out, dude.
Dinner plate big.
I had to slap my leg just to make sure that dinner plate big.
My wife was about maybe 2 feet away from it, and a lady that was kind of walking behind us, we didn't know who she was. She put her hand on my wife's shoulder and she goes, "You better watch where you're going." And we both looked up because we're watching our footing. It was kind of walking up a little bit hill, watching our footing. She goes, "You better watch where you're going." Again, human-sized bird catcher net, right? Crazy big spider web. And off in the corner, that dinner plate spider's just sitting up in the corner.
Waiting for you to actually go into it.
Waiting for something to go in there.
Oh my goodness.
Again,
okay, cool.
Could have died. No.
I know, like, you don't know what would happen. It could have either been like, that's too big to eat, so I'm gonna walk away, or it could have been like, I'm gonna take a bite. And you don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll look it up. But was it poisonous? Was it just gonna be a nasty ass fight? You know?
Well, I mean, we'll
walk it for a little bit more.
Keep it a little bit more.
Yeah, we don't have to make these too long. That's another thing. We're gonna try to make them. I'm gonna try to make them
trim it down
less than 50 minutes, like they've been, and more in the 40 minutes, which is like 7 more minutes from now. So. Good story, man. Cause that's
big spider. But again, it was like, okay, I'm going to tell you a story about a spider, but then ended up being more about, you know, actual emotion, you know, and like caring. Like I didn't think that's
funny because you just told me a story about a spider, and I think my takeaway was, if you're going to go for a walk, watch where you're going.
Watch where you're going.
Right, you know.
And my takeaway
watch
was
where you're going, and then the second one was, you know, through pain through torment,
Yeah.
you can still smile if you find the right time, right place, and the right person.
You can always find joy, and
Yeah.
you know, if you got to just look for it.
That's actually more profound than anything else that we talked about today,
There you
because there's a lot of pain, I'm sure, in a lot of people's lives, including myself. And some days I'm like, there's not going to be a moment of joy in my life, and then all of a sudden I'm playing Catan.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and kicking my
yeah, I'm like, dude, I citied up, and now every time you roll a 5, I can get another city. I'm on coal and hay like a mofo. So, and I don't know why that brings me joy.
I don't know if anybody knows what you're talking about.
No, people know Catan. I'm going to put it in the tags. If you don't know what Catan is, Settlers of Catan, everyone knows what that is.
But it's a good game.
It's a great game. So, and so you do have to find moments of joy. Sometimes it's through competition. Sometimes it's through sharing an experience. To do, and we got into that, so I don't even remember. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Getting rid of my childhood stuff.
There you go.
So not only am I posting it and blah blah blah, hope it sells, but it reminded me that if I was hoarding because I didn't like my childhood, it was time to let go.
Gotcha.
And that's like the deep part. It's time to let go of.
You hit a realization.
If you are upset that you didn't have a good childhood, too fucking bad. There's 3 little girls. It's their turn. It's their childhood, and you're fucking their shit up.
Live in the now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm getting emotional right now. Like, that's what it made me realize. Like, if I was so distraught about, like, well, I wish my parents stayed together. Well, I wish my dad wasn't so mean. I wish my mom wasn't so mean. I wish I didn't get yelled at so much. I wish well, too bad, man. Like, you're 34. Get rid of your Xbox, get rid of your Nintendo 64, get rid of all these little action figures and all this bullshit, and go get your job. And if you are, if your grievance is I work too much, then yeah, and like I said, like, it's the man up problem. So that rather than debating suicide, not that I was, but anything, but rather than debating oh, am I not a man because I can't, now that my marriage is crumbled. Oh, if you're a man, you would have held it together, or you would have manned up and got a job. You would have thrown all these boxes of bullshit away. Well, it's not too late. It might be too late for that relationship, and that's just the regret you swallow or carry with you your whole life. But it's not too late for those 3 little girls. And so, and then that's the like what keeps you going rather than what makes you fall apart. But it kind of does both for me. It makes me fall apart when I think about missing them. You just hit yourself in the face with this thing? Oh, good. That spider.
See him?
God, dude!
He's still little.
He's so big.
He's so little.
No, it's too big. It's too big.
It's too big.
But yeah, like, so that was my realization yesterday. Realizing that this stuff, as I look it up on eBay, some of these video games sell. Especially, like, I have Ogre Battle, which is like one of the top 10 most expensive games for N64.
Okay.
And so that's gonna sell. I'll probably make somewhere between 300 plus for at least my Nintendo 64, piecing it out rather than selling it as a bundle. I have other little rare games and trinkets that are novelty, but what is that, dude? That's less than a paycheck, man. You're sitting there like, oh, you're gonna make $400 off some video game
childhood.
Shit? Yeah, that's my entire childhood now in 2020. Is let's do a high estimate and go all your stuff. You make $1,000. Okay, like everything, like multiple consoles, multiple trinkets and action figures. You make $1,000. Well, I just sold my Was that worth my marriage then? Holding on to all that baggage and not wanting to let it go and wishing that I could make something more of these things? Because these things were set up in my house just collecting dust.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to play Ocarina of Time sometime. I'm going to complete it and get all 50 stars.
Pull it back up.
No, I don't have that kind of time. And there was times when I thought maybe my daughters will enjoy this, and well, now that's gone. When my daughters are with me, I'm not going to want them to be playing video games. I'm going to be, if it's 4 days a week or a month, every other weekend, I'm gonna be like, let's go on a picnic and talk and walk. Don't worry about this stuff. So holding on to that past, holding on to all that, it can actually be more detrimental than it's worth just to let it go. And that's what I hope people get. Your point saying find joy even when you're through pain. Just be right place, right time, right person. And let go of the past, because holding on to it can weigh you down, and be more detrimental. Where's your sign off?
Completely agree. You sign off. Laser wash. I was waiting all day. I was waiting the whole time.
You waited 40 minutes for that. 99 cents. No. But, that's funny, dude.
Shit. No, that's good. All right, yeah, but yeah, definitely. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thanks again for listening.
Cock of the Walk podcast. Share it if you actually like what we've become now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Brendan from Cock of the Walk podcast. If you like what you heard, you can support us just by sharing the link. That's the most important thing, is to get the word out. If you want to go beyond that, you can do donations. You can become a member and subscribe, or you can even buy some merch. You can find us at www.halfmoonday.com. We are a Half Moon Day LLC production. You can also reach us directly with comments, questions, or topics you want us to discuss at cockofthewalkpodcast@gmail.com or cockofthewalkpodcast@aol.com. We also have a Facebook, and you can find us on YouTube under the Half Moon Day page. On behalf of myself and Shaun, thank you very much for tuning in. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and we appreciate your time. Have a good day.